Why did President Trump step back from taking military action against Iran? In recent weeks, tensions between the United States and Iran appear to be moving toward a dangerous confrontation. Statements from Washington, military advisories, and troop movements in the Middle East created a strong impression that U.S. President Donald Trump was seriously considering military action against Iran. However, despite this escalating rhetoric and visible military precautions, the situation ultimately de-escalated. Trump stepped back from launching any direct military strike. This decision was influenced by a combination of political signals from Iran, military assessments from U.S. officials, strategic risks, and the broader regional consequences of war. Rising tensions and early warning signs. The sense of imminent conflict intensified when the United States issued an advisory related to Iran. Such advisories are typically interpreted as preparatory steps, often taken when Washington believes its interests or personnel could soon be at risk. This was followed by a significant military move, the withdrawal of some U.S. troops and aircraft from the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Al Udeid is the largest U.S. air base in the Middle East, and a crucial hub for American air operations across the region. Any adjustment in force posture at such a facility sends a clear message, not only to adversaries but also to allies, that the United States is reassessing its immediate security environment. During this period, President Trump made particularly strong statements. He warned that if Iranian authorities executed protesters arrested during internal unrest, the United States would respond with severe action. These remarks were widely interpreted as a red line and suggested that Washington was prepared to move beyond diplomatic pressure. Iran's signals and a shift in tone. The situation began to change when reports emerged from Iran, indicating that executions of detained protesters were not under consideration. While Iran's internal politics and judicial processes are often opaque, these reports were significant enough to influence Washington's calculations. Soon afterward, Trump publicly stated that the United States had been informed that killings in Iran had stopped and that there were no plans to execute protesters. This statement marked a notable shift in tone. Rather than emphasizing punishment or retaliation, the U.S. president appeared to signal relief and a willingness to ease tensions. In parallel with this change in rhetoric, the United States reviewed and lowered the high security alert level at Al Udeid Air Base. According to Reuters, U.S. military aircraft that had been removed from the base were gradually returning. These steps suggested that the immediate risk of conflict was diminishing. As a result, many analysts concluded that the Middle East was slowly moving away from the brink of a new crisis. Markets stabilized, diplomatic channels became more active, and the sense of urgency surrounding a potential U.S.-Iran clash began to fade. However, calm optimism was soon challenged by a report published by the British newspaper The Telegraph. The report claimed that the U.S. military was not prepared to launch an attack on Iran. This assertion drew global attention because it contradicted the perception that Washington always maintains the ability to strike decisively when it chooses. According to reports citing The Telegraph, U.S. officials had been secretly warned that the military faced limited authority and operational capabilities when it came to Iran. In simple terms, while the U.S. military is powerful, Iran presents a uniquely difficult target. Its size, terrain, population, and defensive systems make any attack complex and unpredictable. The report further suggested that Trump had instructed his national security team to consider military action only if they could guarantee decisive results against the Iranian government. Senior officials reportedly informed the president that such guarantees were impossible. Risk of a wider war. U.S. officials later told NBC News that a military strike on Iran could quickly escalate into a large-scale conflict lasting weeks or even longer. Iran possesses a range of asymmetric capabilities, including missile forces, regional allies, and influence over strategic waterways such as the Strait of Hormuz. Any U.S. attack, even a limited one, could provoke retaliation not only against American forces, but also against U.S. allies in the Middle East. Oil infrastructure, shipping routes, and civilian populations could all become targets. The economic and political costs of such a conflict would be enormous. This reality played a major role in Trump's decision to step back. While strong rhetoric can be politically useful, the consequences of actual military action are far more difficult to control. Strategic assessments and Time magazine's analysis. Amid this uncertainty, Time magazine published an analysis that reinforced the growing skepticism surrounding military options. The report argued that beyond public statements and threats, the fundamental truth was that no military option could realistically fulfill Trump's promises. According to Time, even a symbolic U.S. strike would likely be too limited to have meaningful impact. Such an action might satisfy short-term political messaging, but would fail to change Iran's behavior or weaken its government. Worse, it could invite retaliation, leaving the United States worse off than before. This assessment aligned closely with the warnings given by U.S. military and intelligence officials. Together, they painted a picture of a conflict with high risks and low strategic rewards. Iran's geography and defense capabilities. Defense experts have also highlighted Iran's geography as a powerful deterrent. The country's mountainous terrain, vast territory, and dispersed military infrastructure make it extremely difficult to neutralize through airstrikes alone. Unlike smaller states, Iran cannot be easily overwhelmed without a prolonged and costly campaign. In addition, Iran has reportedly made significant improvements to its air defense systems and missile capabilities in recent months. These developments further complicate any potential U.S. military operation and increase the likelihood of American losses. U.S. officials are known to take such factors seriously. Military planning is not based on political desire alone, but on realistic assessments of success, cost, and long-term consequences. Conclusion: a calculated step back. Ultimately, President Trump's decision to step back from military action against Iran was not driven by a single factor, but by a convergence of realities. Iran's signals regarding protesters reduced the immediate justification for force. Military assessments revealed the lack of guaranteed success. Strategic analyses warned of escalation, regional instability, and limited gains. While the crisis appears to have been averted for now, the underlying tensions between the United States and Iran remain unresolved. Trump's retreat from military action reflects not weakness, but a recognition of the complex, dangerous, and unpredictable nature of modern warfare in the Middle East. For the moment, diplomacy, deterrence, and caution have prevailed over confrontation. But the situation remains fragile, and future decisions will continue to be shaped by the same strategic calculations that led to this pause.